From the Woodshed, a casual conversation with Chase Morrill and Ryan Eldridge from Kennebec Cabin Company, the team that inspired the hit show Maine Cabin Masters. From the Woodshed is brought to you by Nelma. See the stamp, trust the quality. By Hero Media Arts, connecting small business with new customers. And by Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Now, from the Woodshed Studios at KCC headquarters in Manchester, Maine, it's Chase and Ryan.
From the Woodshed, I'm Chase Morrill. With me, as always, Ryan Eldridge, Maggie Morrill.
Hi.
Our guest today is Tony Cameron, the CEO for Maine Tourism Association. You can find us at KennebecCabinCompany.com, MaineCabinMasters.com, our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel, and check out our online store, shop.KennebecCabinCompany.com. We always want to thank our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company, the official building materials supplier of the Kennebec Cabin Company, Nelma, Northeast Lumber Manufacturing Association, and Hero Media Network.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Get that. He nails it now. All from memory. How you guys been?
Not from memory.
Thanks for calling me last week.
How was New Orleans?
It was interesting. It was fun. It was a lot. I've never been. Like, the food was amazing. The architecture. I feel like it was like Las Vegas, so I didn't need to go for that long. Could have cut a day off on each end.
How long were you there?
Was it 5 days?
That's a long
Yeah,
trip.
it was a long time. Especially after the amazing trip we had. I would have been okay not going, but it was fun. It was awesome. New Year's was great. You guys got me good when you called.
Maggie was tracking you.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we are not at a bar. We're staying above a bar. So they have these new things. Saunders, a company, and it's a bunch of Airbnbs that are all in one building. So they're all separate entities. You run them through Airbnb.
Really?
Yeah. And there just happened to be a bar downstairs.
Sure. Whatever you say.
How did my replacement do?
He did very well. Yes.
He had fun. You got him off his half pipe?
Got him off his half pipe.
I think it came out awesome.
He hasn't broken anything yet.
No?
No.
If you guys don't know, Fletcher's Christmas present was materials to build a half pipe. Chase put it up.
Mini half
pipe. And it was upstairs in the barn.
Yeah.
You got an art studio on one end, half pipe on the other. What's going to go in the middle someday?
Horse
All
stall.
the stuff.
More chairs.
More chairs.
More chairs.
Yeah, we can have quite a stadium to watch him.
Oh, you totally could.
Half piping?
Have you tried it?
No.
Every time I go over there when he's out of skateboard, I'm like, do not get on that. You don't even think about it. Don't try it.
No, but I think it was yesterday, we were all talking, and Dixie was like, oh, yeah, I want to go try it out.
Oh, let's get the film crew over there.
Well, then Trevor was like, oh, yeah, I used to skateboard. Carter was like, oh, yeah. And Carter's the one who I'm like, oh, yes, he probably could.
Yeah, he's quite young than us.
Still rip it up on it, but
It would be fun entertainment.
it would be, for sure.
What did you guys do for New Year's Eve?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I wish I did nothing.
That's not, well, we watched New Year's Eve with Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton.
Did you see the t-shirt she was wearing for part of it?
Nope.
Was it Billy Strings?
No Grateful Dead.
Dolly Parton was?
Yeah. Unless that was photoshopped and sent to me by somebody.
No, it easily could have been.
I'm pretty sure she did.
Yeah. But I learned she wears gloves because she has so many tattoos on her hands.
Right? I heard her whole sleeves are tattooed.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
You never would have thought that.
No. Yeah, it was pretty low. It was fun. We all stayed up as a family, pretty
Till
low
midnight.
key. But it was easy. Yeah, and today, finally, we finished our last cabin.
For 2022.
We're 20, and again, we were trying to figure out season. And I was like,
I think we're on our 8th. This will be our 8th year doing it, in my opinion.
but they were trying to tell me that this cabin is part of next season. And I'm like, I don't think so. I think we're wrapped up.
Oh, you can't even listen to what they say.
Yeah. This was Ashley trying to tell me.
Oh. You got Coney math plus Ashley math.
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
It is. And, CMP, we've been trying to get power turned on, and they've been so busy with other projects, getting the rest of the state cleaned up from those past storms, that they showed up today at lunchtime to
At the worst time.
the worst time, but best time, because it's energized. The camp, they could turn the lights on. But the film crew found these light bulbs because yesterday there was no power. We didn't think CMP was we didn't know when they were gonna show up, so they went out and bought these light bulbs because if there's lights, they need them looking like they're working. But apparently, I don't know where they got them, but you screw them in, and if the power goes off, they resort to backup, and they last for 5 hours.
Little batteries in them.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I mean, it looks like a normal light bulb. I'm like, that's a great idea.
Heck yeah.
Because 5 hours.
It kind of felt like one of the first seasons, didn't it?
Yes,
Like no power.
No
Hooking it up
power.
down to the last minute.
Last minute.
It's just one of those things like, the holidays came. Like we normally give the guys this week off.
Yep.
Things got pushed back.
Things got pushed back.
Can't always be easy.
No, yeah, Ashley's team was like right there, chomping at the bit, waiting for us to get done.
I may or may have not seen some paint going down last minute. It was fun to do that. Let's not do that again for a while.
No, that was plenty. Oh,
But we're excited. Normally now we get a little break. We'll be doing personal projects, working on our new place and
yeah,
trying to get caught up on life and stuff.
exactly.
Looking at next year.
Yeah, and Nori has her permit now. She actually went out driving with Karen the other day.
Did she?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They went out for lunch at the Sunset Grill, and Nori drove her around for, get some hours driving around. So they drove around for about an hour.
I love her. You can never figure her out, ever.
Apparently she rolled through a stop sign.
Who did?
Nori. And Karen made her go and do it again and make a full stop.
Nice.
That's so amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hope she's not driving today. The weather, just like that, it turned. It was pretty nice. How do you feel about driving in this?
I mean,
You should be nervous.
I was okay.
She's got studded
We
tires.
slipped a little bit on the way to
That
school
does
this
make all the
morning.
I pulled in the driveway at Kearns Hill, and it's reclaimed crushed gravel, and it was so slip I wasn't stopping. And I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Just like the trusses.
Yeah. So finally slammed on the brake, and it dug into the ground. But I'm like, that's nuts.
It's scary.
Yeah.
Today, literally, we rained last night, and the temperature just dropped, probably mid morning, and then everything froze solid.
I think it's the anniversary of the ice storm, the 20th anniversary.
Oh God!
Because there was a bunch of articles in the KJ this morning about the ice storm and photos of it, how bad it was and everything.
So if you guys don't know the ice storm, that was a major weather event for Maine. What 98 or 20?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
25 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And I mean, please, my dad was without power for 3 weeks. It devastated the state.
Oh yeah, I mean an inch of ice on everything.
It completely changed forests, yards, you name it.
Yeah, it was a mess.
Mother Nature. God.
25 years ago.
Yeah, that math wasn't really adding up.
Well, I knew it was.
It's an antique ice storm, right? 25 years.
Yeah, vintage. It was a vintage ice storm.
Well, I'm glad
What's happening right now?
I'm glad you drove in that today because you got to do it. And you just got to go slow and get practice.
Yeah.
You can't be scared of it.
Well, I had to go to school.
They had a 2-hour delay though. Exciting stuff.
Good times. I didn't see Maine Cabin Master Kennebec Property Services under that. Remember how much fun that was though? Before all the technology, you'd have to get up and watch the news, see if you had no school.
Oh yeah. Oh
It
yeah.
was so much fun. You'd be doing this dance.
Yeah, or listening to 92 Moose
Yeah.
in between songs, waiting to hear your school called.
And then you hear it yes.
Yep.
And now it's you get an automated call, you get a text, probably a fax,
Oh yeah.
everything.
All of it. And I think we all get, everyone in our household gets all 3 of them. Do you get all 3 of them?
All 3 of what?
The call, the
from all
email, and the text from the school?
I get them.
Probably from all 3 schools.
Yeah, I get them. Mom gets them.
You don't
You
get
get them.
emails.
I do.
From who?
Maranacook School District.
Michelle, my principal? I get emails from Michelle, the principal.
I don't know who they're from, but I get them.
Of course you do.
I don't necessarily need them.
Well, let's take a short break. We can do some emails, and the rest of you guys can watch this great video about Kennebec Cabin Company.
Hi, my name is Ashley Morrill. I am the co-owner of Kennebec Cabin Company, home of the Maine Cabin Masters. We really wanted to be able to connect with our fan base, and we wanted to find a space where we could go and feature all of the artists and craftsmen that I discover through the show. If you see something maybe in one of the episodes of Maine Cabin Masters, you can come into the store and whoop, there it is. We've got a little bit of everything for everybody, and then some. This is our lighting section. You have these beautiful handmade lampshades. I think every camp needs a hammock. I say that a lot. I think I say it on every episode that every camp needs a hammock. So when you first walk in, one of the first things you might recognize is the canoe bookshelf. One of the first projects that Chase and I built together. The little onesies, love those. Those are my favorite, might be my favorite item. The beautiful art by Helene Farrar. She actually is our neighbor next door. We're getting new pieces in weekly. Fastest items to always go are these bat boxes. They can house up to 100 bats, but you probably already knew that if you watched the show. We've got all the pictures of all the cabins that we've done hanging on the walls. We have all the artists and craftsmen that I've worked with throughout the shop. You just really feel like you are, right here with us. So come on in and visit us. We are at 915 Western Ave in beautiful Manchester, Maine, or you can also find us online at KennebeckCabinCompany.com. We look forward to seeing you.
And we are back with our guest, Tony Cameron, CEO of the Maine Tourism Association. How are you today, Tony?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Fantastic. Thanks
Doing
for joining
great.
us.
So this is the fun part of the episode where we ask you if you'd like a water, coffee, or beer.
Beer.
Beer, all right. Right now we have the Magic Cooler, not necessarily sure what's in there. Drum roll.
It is all fresh, though. It is all fresh.
It's kind of fun. We have to line it up. You get to choose. It's from our friends at Baxter Brewing again. You get first choice.
Yellow, orange, green,
And a
or
tie-dye.
purple.
Well, I think we got to go with Staycation Land.
Oh,
I
I
mean-
like that. Which one is right here? Staycation. It's a brilliant lager. There
Yes.
you are, sir.
Awesome. Thank you.
Feel free to pick a glass and bring it home as your.
All right. Appreciate it.
I think I'd want that Woodshed one if I was you.
All right. Outstanding.
Why?
I've seen a crack in that, but
Oh,
maybe
geez.
not. Chase, what'd you like, sir?
I'll go with yellow, please.
Perfect.
So tell us a little bit about Maine Tourism Association and what they do, long you've been involved and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of layers to what we do, the elevated speech or the elevator speech for this is people often get us confused for the Maine Office of Tourism, and really what the difference is the Office of Tourism is an office within the state of Maine. They're under the ECD, and they're responsible for promoting and marketing the state of Maine. We are the trade association. We protect the industry. We offer visitor services and we offer services to the industry as well. So we protect the livelihood of the industry, but we also are a contractor for the state. So we operate all the state's visitor centers. We produce the official state publications. Simply put, I think that they do the planning. I mean, they do the dream phase. We do the planning phase. And so we really try to connect the visitors to the businesses and get them off the beaten path, get them to stay longer, have a great experience, and really make sure that people have an amazing time so they can spend their money and come back and tell all their friends.
Nice.
Now, what'd you go to college for?
I went for marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
correlated.
Yeah.
I mean, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been in the industry for quite a bit, almost 20 years. Started actually working for the Portland Sea Dogs in minor league baseball in the front office as an assistant director of ticketing, and kind of did all kinds of stuff. And then ended up in Bar Harbor as a director of marketing.
When were you
for
in
the-
Bar Harbor? We spent time in Bar Harbor, both of us.
Yeah, I was there 2007 to about 2012.
Well after us.
Yeah, that's right. I got out of there in 2005, I think. But
Yeah,
what a place.
it's amazing,
It's
right?
changed so much.
It
too.
has changed so much. And, I think with Bar Harbor, it comes down to people management because it has become such a popular destination. So I've been around. I worked in Booth Bay Harbor as the executive director for the chamber for a while
Nice.
there. And then I've been working for MTA for about 8 years. I started my role as CEO the second week of March of 2020. So great timing there. Everything went south as soon as I took over. So
Especially for Maine, because I don't know if people know, but tourism is like a number one industry. You could probably give us the real facts and figures.
yeah, it absolutely is. So So we don't have all the numbers quite for 2022 yet because it
Sure.
just came to an end just a few days ago. But looking back at 2021, close to $8 billion in total revenue and sales.
And that's a pandemic year too.
Well, yeah, coming off of it,
Yeah.
you're right, because it wasn't a full year. It equates to 141,000 jobs. Around 16 million people came in 2021. So it is an incredibly important industry for the state of Maine, and everything else kind of relies on it. From school systems to real estate to everything. It's if we don't do well, everybody else is going to be bummed.
I think we almost take it for granted, like growing up in Maine. I mean, what a place to be the head of tourism.
Yeah.
But that we are a tourist destination and how things fluctuate. And even like being 30 miles from the coast where we are, it's a whole different world. We're starting to see more of that inland, but I mean, it's just so driven by tourism down there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ghost towns right now.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of seasonality to what we do, and when things are quiet, it's certainly a different way of life for a lot of businesses. And right now, we're looking at challenges with lack of snow. So snowmobiling is big business for the county, Western Maine. Same with skiing. And without the snow, it's a huge loss. So fingers crossed for some snow. I think that this is actually, it's unfortunate, but it's becoming more of annual problem where winter seems to be happening a little bit later. The fall season, it keeps getting a little bit longer, which could be a good thing in a way that it could bring more people in the fall.
Yes, exactly. It could be good.
Yeah.
To certain people.
It was a pretty darn good year building up until Christmas.
Yeah.
We were lucky.
Yeah. The downside of it, though, and the biggest challenge that faces our industry right now is workforce.
Yeah.
We just don't have enough people to serve the amount of people who want to come. And so we see a lot of businesses that are closing certain days of the week. You see that with restaurants quite a bit.
So does Maine Tourism Association help with that
We do.
side of things?
So one of the many layers that we do is we actually have a workforce program. We have a full-time person, a director of workforce. We actually just got a grant from the Department of Labor to really address a lot of the workforce challenges that we see. And there isn't a magic bullet for it, unfortunately. Right. And so really we're trying to focus on three things: long-term recruitment, immediate recruitment, and retention, and try to get people really excited about the tourism industry.
Yeah. Now, how does that, because the tourism industry, it's seasonal. So if you get people up here, are there seasonal workers? Are you trying to get, like you said, retention long-term?
Yeah.
How do you balance that out?
Well,
do you work with, say, Florida and say, okay, work up here in the summertime, then head down, kind of like snowbirds?
So actually, when we first created our workforce program, which was actually back in 2018, prior to the pandemic, workforce was an issue back then too. Everything kind of got amplified a little bit since then. But we had we started the workforce program, and the goal of it was actually to try to work with other opposite states, and like Florida and Arizona, and try to find some synergy with different resorts and properties down there to kind of get things moving back and forth. It's a pretty complicated thing to make that happen.
Sure.
For a lot of reasons, and it can work in some regards. Really what we're trying to do with retention is we're trying to give tools to employers on how to become better employers, essentially.
Gotcha.
How to make it so people want to work for them and want to keep coming back. It's challenging to retain employees, and you want to keep the good ones, obviously.
Yeah, we had a Saddleback Jim on the, what was his last name? Oh my gosh.
Quimby.
Jim Quimby last. And same thing, Saddleback is trying to, develop all this stuff so it becomes more of a year-round place. They're putting in employee housing and different stuff.
Huge.
And that's really a big problem, transportation and housing for staff. And so we were up at Saddleback prior to the season in September, and they were talking about how they're adding staff housing because really you have to. And so any properties or businesses that have the resources to do that should absolutely do it, because it's one of the solutions. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of smaller properties, mom and pop places that just don't have the capacity to do that. And so we just don't have enough people here in the state of Maine to physically work. And so we do have to recruit. We do need to get creative. We need to get
All you young kids start moving here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good jobs waiting.
Great jobs.
Young and old.
Yeah, young and old.
That's something we struggle with. We all grew up working seasonal, and like I went out west for a while, skiers, and they all did provide the housing, which helped.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I went to Bar Harbor in the summers, and then I'd go the skiers in the winters. But I always had that shoulder season. It was kind of difficult, but I was lucky enough that I, save money.
Yeah.
But even we kind of struggled with in the winters, like taking on projects that we necessarily might not want to do to keep people around, because it's hard. Some businesses and some, aspects want to lay people off, but you really got to keep going because you don't want to lose those people. And almost like we sacrifice some time, personal time and energy, and to keep things going and keep our good people and trying to build something that will sustain itself. There's like almost a fine line there between when you're first starting out until you get big enough to sustain yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a hard thing to get over.
It really is. And
I don't know if we're there yet.
We're not.
We're also trying to start at a younger age within the schools to get them excited about the tourism opportunities, because I think that tourism has had a reputation of kind of low-paying seasonal jobs, and it's just not really the case. I mean, there's definitely jobs from all spectrums, but you can work your way up. And those who work in the tourism and hospitality field get great customer service skills and really can go on to do anything.
Fabulous personalities, sales skills.
Great personalities. And I think that you have much better respect for people and individuals and how to deal with situations when you've dealt with things on the front line.
Yeah.
I grew up in Gardner. We didn't really travel. We went ice fishing, did fun stuff like that, but I didn't travel or do any of that. And really, I try to tell all my nieces, nephews, and kids in my life now that two things that changed my life are working in restaurants and learning how to ski and snowboard.
Yeah.
It really did. Like I felt like I could go anywhere then, and it just showed me this whole other life, and like got me out of Maine for a while, and then we all came back, obviously, because we love it so much. But it's a great industry because you can go almost anywhere.
You really can. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And carpentry, of course.
Yeah, of course. So how do you not play favorites within the state of Maine?
That's
I'm just going right for it.
That's a fair question. So we're a membership-based organization, and so a lot of businesses join our association for a number of reasons. Some of it's the legislative advocacy, although even though that's not the most sexiest part, it's probably the most important part, that we're protecting the livelihood for the industry. The other side of that is that visitor planning. And so, how do businesses get referred? We have a great website, which is not biased by any means. You can obviously pay for digital advertising and things of that nature on it, but it's not biased. I mean, it's based off of what people are looking for, and you're going to find that information. We operate the 7 state visitor centers. And so we have real people being able to answer real questions in person.
Where are your visitor centers?
So I was just trying to think okay, ready? Freeport.
Nope.
That's not one.
Yarmouth.
So
close.
That's what I meant.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
The one right on the border coming in the state.
Yep. Kittery.
Kennebunkport.
Nope.
No,
so that's
state run.
That's actually not even a visitor center. It's a service plaza.
Where you don't even know.
West
We're
Gardner.
not very good at this.
I don't think there's West
Bar
Gardner.
Harbor. Bangor.
He just started with a Rundle. So 7.
Aroostook.
So
We got 2 of them.
So Kittery, Yarmouth, Freiburg, Holton, Calais,
Oh wow.
Hamden, and there's actually 2 in Hamden. One southbound and northbound. So right before
Hamden's a
Bangor.
hot spot there.
Yeah. Yep. So there is a new Acadia Gateway Center that is being in the works up in Trenton, right before
Oh,
Bar
sure.
Harbor.
Yes.
And so once that actually comes to completion, there will be a state visitor information center as part of that. So
Gotcha.
we'll have one there. But it's, we really pride ourselves on trying to have the best visitor experience when somebody goes into a visitor center throughout the entire country. And so we want to set the gold standard. And that also includes the facilities themselves. So believe it or not, I am blown away by how many people actually write reviews on visitor centers and bathrooms. But we work with the Department of Transportation. There's a lot of layers to this, but the buildings are actually owned by the Department of Transportation.
Side note, Jedi's dad actually ran the ones that were in Augusta for like 25, 30 years. He worked for DOT back before they shut.
What did he run?
Remember there was the rest areas in Augusta on the northbound?
Yeah.
He was in charge of all those.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we also do 24/7, 365 maintenance and cleaning for some of those properties, and the ability for us to keep bathrooms clean and maintain the appearance. It goes so far. It is the biggest thing to have clean bathrooms and to be recognized of having clean facilities. It's amazing. Locals it really does. Visitors appreciate it. Locals appreciate it. They know where to stop. I mean, anyone can go on to the Kittery Visitor Information Center's Google reviews or Yarmouth and read the reviews. They are phenomenal as far as, obviously the visitor services are great, but the fact that the bathrooms are clean, it's great, and it's part of the experience.
Of course.
I would have said that about vehicles 10 years ago, but too busy, not anymore. It is funny. Like another thing, like I was like when I was in the restaurant industry, people that put their money all the right way and had it in order. Like to me, that said a lot about them too. But some little tidbits in the personality.
Absolutely. But we can't play favorites, obviously. To get back to your question,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just. There's so many different areas of the state. Yeah. And, I mean, tourists are definitely drawn to certain spots, but it's good to kind of showcase different areas. And I'm sure but you can't showcase everything.
You can't.
And
so there's a lot of qualifying questions that our counselors are trained to and somebody's looking for, where's the best place to eat a lobster? I mean, that's a common question. Right. Where do you see a moose?
You almost got to break it down. Like, what are you looking?
Yeah. And so you got to be like, well, where are you headed? And then you start to regionalize it. And then you kind of start to look at, we have businesses all across the state, and depending on where people are going, that's where we start to, we feed them the information that they're looking for. And then we also make recommendations on things that they're not necessarily looking for that might be a good side alternative to them as well. And as we kind of work with some of the destination management where, we know Bar Harbor might be busy. It's just during certain times of year. We might recommend going to the Scudic Peninsula as well while they're up there to kind of balance it. So, Winter Harbor can benefit from, the success of Bar Harbor.
Yeah. Huh.
One thing about Maine is there's something for everyone. Someone will ask me what's my perfect vacation? What should I do? And I might send them here and there, and then Chase might send them somewhere else, or Dixie or Jedi will send them up hunting. But it's just really, really so diverse, it's amazing.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, I like to tell people I have one of the best jobs in the state. I mean, because we represent the best of what Maine is about. And we're known as vacation land for a reason. And it's really awesome that we get to protect this industry and showcase it to people and, show them how to have a good time, So, yeah, it's all about the memories.
Yeah, for sure. And do you follow, are there a lot of trends in tourism? Obviously Maine, lobsters, moose, there's some things that are just staples, diehards. Are there different trends that kind of come in and go out? And do you guys try and follow that, or do you guys kind of set the lead and set the trends?
Yeah, it kind of works both. We follow a lot of national tourism and international trends. There's there's a trend to, when you go on a vacation, to leave it in a better place than you found it. So some of that's kind of like sustainable tourism and making sure that the destination, no trace is left behind, type of stuff. Education has become a popular trend where people want to go on educational vacations and learn a lot, or work. Actually, it's crazy that people want to work on vacation, like maybe go learn how to build a boat, or something of that nature.
I see.
Or help out some community, and then indulge themselves into the destination while they're there. So there's definitely some of those types of trends that are happening. And then there's obviously the travel demand and where things stand with that, how people are booking, how far out in advance are booking.
Now, are there trends as far as people coming to Maine from other countries?
Yeah.
And how do you what somebody from China would want for an experience here isn't necessarily what somebody from Norway would want here.
Right.
And do you guys try to?
Yeah. Well, that's more of what the Office of Tourism would do with their research, because they're the ones who are really marketing towards the masses and trying to get those different pockets to come to Maine. Internationally, we're really known as like either a second or third tier destination, meaning we don't have an international hub where people can fly right into here.
Yep.
They're usually flying into New York or Boston, and then using those as like their kind of like their core city, and then going around New England or whatever. And we're usually on that circuit. And the last few years too have really thrown out a lot of the trends, to be honest.
Well, that was leading into my next question. Now that we're on the other side of the pandemic and everything, what's the new normal and where are we at?
We have this conversation almost on a daily basis. And honestly, I told our board chair yesterday in a conversation I was having with him, I was like, I kind of feel like we're in purgatory right now, where we don't really know. We've been waiting in kind of this mid place where last year in 2022, gas prices took off. Before that, we were expecting just like huge boom, and then gas prices took off. There's a threat of recession. We're still talking about that. And usually when gas prices, go where they went when they did, it's bad. It's not a good thing. And yet it kind of bucked all the trends. It was still a good year. We haven't really hit a recession yet. We still don't know if we are. It's a question mark. I think that travel is set up where we're gonna be okay, and be able to manage it better than some other industries. But it's kind of an unknown. We're a major drive market, so all the issues that the airlines have. It does hurt us a little bit, but it's not, we are within I
was just thinking of that quote. Isn't Acadia National Park the one national park that's within 100 million?
So yes,
8 hour a day's drive where
absolutely
a third of the population.
Yeah, because you think about it. I mean, New York, Pennsylvania, the Mid-Atlantic, and the Northeast states are obviously our core markets, and we're within a drive of Baltimore, DC.
Some amazing
Montreal.
Stat.
I mean, it's incredible. So we are within less than a half day's drive of a huge population.
At our little slice of the world right here, it's amazing what we've seen, even through the pandemic, but in the last couple of years, as the show's got more popular, people from all over the world that have come here and just, embrace Maine. And Maine's been hot for a while, the food scene, the beer scene, and I don't see it slowing down that really. It's just.
But you're right. I mean, it's, people drive here. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's not a top tier where you fly in somewhere else and drive up. People stopping off the interstate.
Well, we do have group tours and we do have, bus tours, and that's obviously a segment of the industry, of course. But you're right. The independent travelers, they have the freedom to do whatever and go wherever they want. And so that's a big role where we come in, is we get to kind of help educate them on the opportunities and the things to do and see here in the state of Maine. And, that's really our goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you said, when stop into those travel plazas, it's people who, yes, need to use the bathroom, but they are looking for, for people who don't necessarily plan everything to try and find their different.
Yeah. And it's actually mind blowing how many people come to the state without reservations and expect that they're going to find, waterfront, ocean view rooms for $100 in Bar Harbor, Booth Bay Harbor, Camden, or
4th of July weekend.
Yeah, right. So, we're obviously not rude to them, but planning ahead always is recommended.
Well, like Portland, Maine, like we've traveled a lot since the end of the pandemic, for work and pleasure. And Portland, Maine hotels, I mean, did not stop building, but the prices are right up there with the biggest, most expensive cities in the world.
The average daily, so it's called the ADR, the average daily room rate for Portland and Bar Harbor and a couple other places here in Maine, we're within the top 10 of the country. It's the demand is there, essentially, to be able to get those rates. So it's crazy.
I feel like all that energy is starting to come in. Do you ever think Augusta would have this many hotels? See, when Gardner has a hotel, we're gonna know Maine has made it. Someone put a hotel in Gardner. I'm dreaming now.
Hey, you never know. You never know. So you guys are located in Farmingdale,
Hollowell. Yep.
You're still on the line.
Yeah. So that's where our administrative office is. It's centrally located because we do distribute out to the 7 visitor centers. So we have a warehouse there. We have a warehouse in Gardner. So we distribute all the publications to all those things, and then obviously we do legislative advocacy. So being close to the State House is incredibly important to us. So, that's actually some of the logistics to why we're in Hollowell.
Sure.
And we've been around for 100 years. Last year, we celebrated our centennial year. And the headquarters have actually kind of bounced, between Portland and Augusta and so on. But it's the history of tourism is incredibly fascinating. Yeah.
Where do you think it's headed?
We are in such a great place. Maine has such a great product. The outdoor recreation market is incredible. The stuff that you guys do, representing Maine and get Maine out on a national market. I can't tell how many places I've gone nationally, and people are envious that I'm from Maine, and then they're like, the Cabin Masters is awesome. And so, we have partners out in Arizona and vendors and stuff like that, and they, that's all they talk about. So, whether people know it or not, often they're ambassadors for the state itself. And so I think we're incredibly well positioned to have another 100 years of huge success within tourism. It's all about, creating, like I said before, we value vacation. We are vacation land. And I've often used this example. It's from another state, but I love it. They did a campaign about 18 summers, that you only have 18 summers to spend with your kids and to make memories.
I saw that somewhere.
Yeah. And it was an unbelievably well thought out, touching, emotional campaign. But at the heart of what we're doing, you take away how important tourism is economically, and you throw in the emotional side of what tourism does. We make people have a better life. We're not saving lives, but we're making life worth living. And these are the opportunities that we want to help get people excited about. We want people to want to work within the industry, that you have the opportunity to make somebody's day better. Somebody's like, when you look back at the end of the year, you're not going to remember what you have for lunch on a Tuesday when you're at work, but you're going to remember taking your kid to Baxter State Park. You're going to remember taking, that drive up to Aroostook County to go check out the potato blossoms or whatever. Yeah. I mean, there's so many opportunities here.
Absolutely.
And those are the things that you're going to remember. And so we want people to take a pause, and we want to put Maine forefront when people start to think about where to go on a vacation. And we want people to think about Maine and to keep coming back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, don't ask another question.
We're talking too much. I missed that look.
Yeah, she's been giving it to
You
me.
acknowledged me, and then you ignored me for minutes on end.
Did I get to look through the phone the other day?
Oh, yes. All right, we do have a few questions from.
If we have time.
We do.
I got one question at the end.
Me too.
No,
All right, go.
you need to keep on track. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. This is from at skey 1006. Is September a good time to visit Maine? We are flying into Portland and renting a car. What should we expect, and what should we see while there?
Wow.
Can we each answer this question? Thanks.
September is awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah. Definitely one of my favorite months, not just because it's my birthday. So that's a good reason to come. But it's September. I think the weather is probably one of the best months of the year here. Cool, crisp, sometimes mild air.
Still warm enough to swim, though.
Still warm enough to swim.
Sweatshirt at
Yep.
night.
Yep.
T-shirt a day.
Definitely all the businesses are still open. It's a different type of crowd that's here because school's back in session. So depending on where they're going, I mean, you could drive up the coast, you could go inland. Everything is going to be at 100% open. It's hard to say, what to do here in the state of Maine when you're just flying into Portland. Definitely, indulge yourself in Portland. That's a great place, but
Leaves will be starting to turn. So if you head north, you might get more color.
If you head up, the further north you go, you definitely hit more color. Especially, take a trip out the Sunday River in Bethel.
True.
People think that sometimes the ski resorts just shut down in the summer or the fall. They're not.
They'll give you a ride up, crying out loud. Don't even have to hike.
Absolutely, they'll give you a ride up. But those are great places. There's all kinds of activities to do in the mountains. Katahdin Woods and Water. The new national monument.
And the water's the warmest, right, in September after a nice hot summer.
Yes. Whitewater rafting. It's still going on. I think they do a couple high release days or one in September, which is amazing if anyone has ever done that on the Kennebec and the Penobscot. So yeah.
Plenty to do in September.
I agree with all that. I love September.
Yeah. You do love September.
Love it. And it seems like, even in my short time on this earth, I've seen, summer used to be over on Labor Day, and now from Labor Day to Columbus Day is still packed. And we're seeing if the weather's good, people still, pushing it.
Yeah. When
I was first in Bar Harbor, there might have been 10 cruise ships that last month, and now there's 20 or 30.
Yeah. That could change, though.
So I saw that.
All right. Do we have another question?
We do not have time for any more questions.
Oh, come on.
Except for one from Chase. What is it?
I was just curious if,
Sorry.
Working with other states, are there certain states that are easier to work with because they're so tourism based as well? Like, you get to some states, tourism probably isn't high on their economy.
Mm-hmm.
So they might be harder to kind of collaborate with, but are there certain states? You don't have to name any.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if there are certain, or if there's even like some friendly competition in the Northeast.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously our neighbors to our south, our immediate south, New Hampshire, Vermont. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of competitiveness there, but friendly as well. We do work with them.
Of course.
And there's a lot of networking that goes on between all the New England states. In fact, there's an entity called Destination New England that we all work together for international stuff. But yeah, there are definitely some states that get it more than others. And when I go out to national conferences, it's often really good to network with those states that understand it, get it, and then you can they know some of the things that you're going through because they're going through it as well. And so it's really relieving to hear, your problem isn't necessarily just you, it's everybody's problem, or they're, some of the things that they're seeing be successful are the same things that we're seeing as well. So, and it typically is amazing how common the situations are as far as, what you see for some of those trends every year. Yep.
Interesting.
Okay, my question. Do you think the world's largest flagpole is going to come to fruition? That's a crazy project.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm really
Yeah.
confused.
So I got a firsthand look at that.
Yeah, it's wild, huh?
It's
It's ambitious.
wild and ambitious.
I need a little info.
Yeah.
The blueberry,
The Worcester family.
Worcester family,
Yep.
the Reith family.
In Washington County.
Yep, yep.
Wreath Across America. They have proposed putting the world's largest flagpole. And it's
And
much
memorial
more-
to veterans.
Memorial to veterans. It's really a huge.
Where?
Way down east.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right.
Yeah, Columbia Falls actually
Oh,
would
wow.
be the town.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly ambitious.
It would change that area, which I think they're trying to do.
It would incredibly change the area.
How tall? How big
Yeah,
is it?
how big
gonna
are we
be?
talking?
The rendition, what I saw and what I was told, it would be almost as high or as high as the Empire State Building. With a dome that you could, you could actually go up in it.
What?
Yeah, you can actually check it out online.
I'm going. I've never heard of this.
It would be
So just a flagpole, but no flag?
no. It would have a flag, and it would be the world's biggest flag.
It's
Okay, all right,
pretty much
all right.
pretty much a huge park.
Yeah.
And monument to like those who've served, those that are serving.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
I'd love to see him pull it off. It's a crazy project, but hopefully.
Ambitious, and I mean, this would be like the Walt Disney type of thinking that happened down in Florida. Like that's what this is kind of equivalent to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll check back in like 5 years here.
Well, Tony, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Appreciate talking to you. And if
Yeah,
people
thank you,
want to
Tony.
get a hold of Maine Tourism Association, stop in at one of your
Visitor centers, mainetourism.com.
mainetourism.com.
Is the website, and we're happy. Someone can live chat us. They can call us. They can stop in. Happy to help.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, stick around, guys. We got our new favorite segment coming up. Phone a fan. It could be you.
We're back with our new favorite segment, Phone a Fan. And today we've got two names on the list.
The best segment ever.
We've got Pam LaConte from Wisconsin and Ronald Severns from Evansville, Indiana.
I wonder if he's related to Jake. We have a Severns on our crew. That's a random name.
Maybe it's probably up.
This is Pam.
Oh, this is Pam?
Okay. Hold it out here.
Hello. Hi, this is Pam. I can't come to the phone. Leave a message. Bye.
Hey, Pam, how are you?
Is not available.
Oh.
Please leave your message after the tone. After you have finished your message, just hang up. Or to hear more options, please press 1.
Hey, Pam, of all times to not answer your phone, it's your buddy Ryan and Chase from Maine Cabin Masters. Maggie's here as well. We were just calling to say hi.
If you get this message in the next 30 seconds, give us a call back and we'll have a little chat.
Yeah. If not, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you this summer. Never heard that one before.
Do we just sit and wait?
All right, we gave Pam 30 seconds. That worked the first time.
Did.
So Maddie was so happy that time.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good,
really,
good,
really
good,
happy.
good.
I'm scared now.
And then Ronald Severns. I wonder how many Severns there are.
Maybe it's his uncle.
Could be.
Why would he send it to be your biggest fan?
No, it wasn't. Somebody. It was his buddy
Oh, they did it, yeah.
or his father's friend who wants his camp done down in. So,
Somewhere close.
New Year's Day?
Why are you looking at me?
Well, he tried coming when we had that storm a while ago.
New Year's Day, we went down to Reed State Park. Was it New Year's Day?
Was it like 50
Yes.
degrees out?
It was so busy. It was so busy there. It was beautiful. People were walking around barefoot.
Really?
People were like walking in and out of the water. It was nuts, though.
Yeah, we've been having some odd weather lately. It's going to turn. It's going to be
Brutal.
brutal. But it'll be perfect timing for us. We always say, if we can stay nice until Christmas and then flip a switch.
That is true. All right, I don't think Pam's calling back.
Do not complete your call. Please try again.
How many times you guys have to try to call me before it went through?
Just twice.
right, come on, Ron. It's your lucky day.
This might be the shortest phone a fan segment ever.
We can call the Woodshed next. See who picks up. Call Ashley.
Oh, we should have had somebody from production on.
Did not complete your call. Please try again.
No one's paying their phone bill, so maybe we aren't paying our phone bill.
It's time of day.
Speaking about bills, that's one good thing. I like that. This nice weather definitely saved people a lot of money.
Well, all right, let's go on to some questions from some supposed fans.
Right.
Not
Okay.
much of an ego boost.
I know. God.
Okay. Are you ready?
We're making
Ben?
up time, though. That's probably why. Maggie
Yeah.
probably put the wrong numbers down.
Oh, we're ready.
You don't sound like you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to talk now, and you're not going to talk for a second. Okay. Cynthia Casper asks, I understand that most rot is because of excessive moisture, but how does dry rot occur?
Well, let me tell you, Cynthia.
That's an amazing question, Cynthia.
Yeah. And dry rot usually occurs when there's moisture above 20 to 30% in the environment. It's caused by microscopic fungi that feed on cell walls.
Did you get this question earlier?
You're not supposed to look at the questions before. I'm going to start taking out this page.
Thank God he did, because I was trying to do the math. What is...
No, that's the truth.
But you didn't know that till
I did,
today.
but I didn't know the specifics.
Can I see that? What is that?
You're a
So
liar.
so like mold and dry rot are very similar, except rot feeds on cellulose and cell walls, or like any
Are you
organic
both doing that with your hand?
material.
So smart people do with their hands.
But they both survive in humid environments, and the spores. The fungi grows, and then the spores come out and they spread. So that's why dry rot is so bad, because it actually damages the wood and eats it. So whereas mold a lot of times is superficial or superficial, just on the surface. And a lot of times when you have mold, you're also going to have dry rot. A good sign of dry rot is discoloration of the wood. And this isn't all, I didn't study all this. I just wanted the moisture content numbers and that type of stuff. Okay.
Can you put it in layman's terms?
Don't read the
we're still
questions
trying to
before
wrap
I
our head around
ask
it.
them. Chase.
So I guess I always assume it's just like a very humid environment, but not a lot of.
Yes.
Well, I guess humidity there is moisture content there, but
Yeah.
not.
So it's one of those things where once that dry rot starts and it's got the ability to feed, that fungus gets into the wood, and then to multiply it sends out the spores. And so those spores kind of just work their way up to whether it's wood material, whether it's a wood-based material or something like that. Same thing, like if it's a fabric or cotton-based, it can also eat that as long as there's some sort of cellulose involved in the process. A good way to get rid of dry rot and mold is a boric acid or vinegar. A lot of people think that bleach, kills mold or whatever, but it's not necessarily. It does work, but it's not the safest. If you're in an enclosed space, you don't want to be using a lot of bleach. Whereas vinegar, it's still an acid, and I think anytime when you get a mold and the fungus don't like acidity above 5.5.
You lost me a long time ago. So pretty much dry rot and wet rot. Wet rot, we've seen it when we just grab a 2x4 or something and it's just spongy. But dry rot has the ability. It's
Dry rot-
moisture in the
yeah.
air, but the water doesn't stay there. It just gets, it's a moist environment in the air.
Exactly. Where wet rot or normal rot, it's just constantly saturated.
There's probably no airflow and nowhere the water to go.
Right. Like you could have a room enclosed, and if there's no airflow, but there's a high moisture level, it's dark, and there's a food. You get those spores in there, they can kind of continue. And same thing, as long as that humidity is there, those spores can stay there, and they can even go dormant a little bit, so that if it's seasonal, so you get dry time, but then you get moisture again, it's still able to creep through the wood.
And that's a great question, because you're going to see an episode coming up where we actually have both types,
Oh yes,
right? And
we have more than both types.
Yeah.
We have everything.
and it's interesting. I'll have to watch, but one kind of introduce the other, and
Yes.
very interesting things to come.
Yep. It's a it's a good one, but it's a bad one.
That was an amazing answer. Thanks for making us look good.
Okay, are you ready for your next question?
Sure.
This one is from. Do I even need to read them? Have you read all of these?
Please read them.
Okay, this one is from Phil Butler. Chase, are you related to Captain Walter G. Morrill, Company B of the 20th Maine Civil War? He fought in Little Round Top under Colonel Joshua Chamberlain.
See, if you would have give me this answer before, you guys got a thing in the mail of your genealogy from someone. I sent you a picture of it. It's at my house, so we might have to get that and answer this later.
Yes. I mean, no, I'm not saying yes to the question. I'm saying yes, we need to get that information.
I hope you relate him to because
I know. I hope so.
Wouldn't we know?
Not necessarily. There's a lot of morals in the state of Maine.
Right, but
And some of us got a lot of
But so
I
I
feel like
did sign up for
the morals are
Ancestry.com.
kind of good at
I've
knowing that.
Done a little research. I have some, but like, it's a
You
family.
didn't make it very far.
I didn't make it very far.
You
It's not as
kind of got
it's not-
stuck.
Yeah,
You didn't do a great job.
it's a lot of
Well, you
work.
started though,
Yeah.
and
You got like
I'm surprised if you didn't get on there like someone else in your family hadn't done all the work. Like, because sometimes you get on there like someone had done a lot of the work for you.
Well, I think there is that, and like our aunt Janet did a lot of work, but hers is pre-internet, so she's got a piece of paper. But it's a matter of like just being able to trace it. It's not easy.
That's what you do in retirement.
Yeah, I see why.
But yeah, if I remember, I'll remember to bring that in next week, and we should look at it a little bit.
And I wonder if it's Phil who somebody sent me a book about Captain Walter G. Morrill. It's specifically about him and how he, fought with Joshua Chamberlain and all that stuff, which I haven't had time to read, but maybe this winter.
Maybe one of the kids should do a report on Walter G. Morrill for us.
Yeah.
we're already past this part in American history.
This is your family. How could you get past it?
I'm talking
She's doing a report on Oscar Wilde,
Okay.
who's not even
It's-
from the U.S.
we're not it's
But
not
she's
relevant.
taking AP U.S. history, and her report is about a non-American.
And my teacher said it was fine.
What do you think
so
Walter Morrill's thinking about that right now? Rolling in his grave. He's probably loading his musket ball up.
That's right.
I do know that if you talk to Civil War nerds, they love that you're What?
Joshua Chamberlain was a decisive player in the
Yeah,
Civil
they
War.
love that you're from Maine.
Yes, he was.
Exactly. Words directly from Shane Gower, my history teacher.
Yes.
I like Shane. I don't know who he is, but I like him.
Okay, that's all we have time for today. So
Oh, we have one more there, I see.
we have two more, but you two want to talk all day today.
All right.
So
Well, next time.
All right.
not my problem.
So you think you know Maine?
Maybe it should be so you think you know Maggie trivia.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be easy on us this time?
She's not.
Oh, can you guys go over what happened last week? Because I wasn't here.
It was that totally obscure person. Oh, the sugar person who owned half of Portland.
You'll have to watch to find out.
Okay.
Because
The last
I
name was
lost
Burn. The
it.
last name was Burned.
That means I can get in on it, right?
Yeah.
I can win a prize. Yes.
And
Okay.
last week's.
Are you going to continue or
Go.
you keep like saying stuff and I'm confused. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
What eccentric journalist had a Tower of Silence built at his estate in Bar Harbor?
Hunter S. Thompson.
Nope.
Murrow.
This was last.
Nope.
Walter Cronkite.
Nope.
You said Murrow.
Yeah.
And give us another clue.
I don't know. I don't have the knowledge to
Harbor.
give you another clue.
There's been a lot of famous socialite people
I
that
know.
gone through. Is it Rockefeller or Ford? Someone from the Golden Age?
What's the name?
Joseph Pulitzer.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Is there a prize named after this gentleman?
I have no.
In journalism?
Is that
Yes.
where that came from?
Yes.
I assumed so, but I wasn't
Had you,
really sure.
had you heard that tidbit of information before?
No.
Neither did I.
But I knew there on Bar Island there used to be a journalist who had a house out there. But not Pulitzer.
Interesting. Good question.
Good question.
Alrighty. Okay. To a botanist, what is special about Crystal Bog in southern Aroostook County?
I should ask Kevin. I will.
All right, that's this week's question.
Let's hope this question is still true.
To a botanist, what is special about Crystal Bog in Aroostook County?
Southern Aroostook County.
Oh, Southern Aroostook County.
Yep.
Okay.
No comment. But yeah, if you have the answer, be the first person to send the correct answer to podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. And Maggie might just be singing your praise next week.
Yeah. And if you have any fan questions for us and, about the show, about anything, or project pointers, if you have a project you're working on or thinking about working on, or a camp that needs a little help, reach out. Maybe we can help.
As much as we love to call a friend, it hasn't been going. we're batting about 500, so we a couple project pointers might help.
That's right. Get the juices flowing. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Our email, as always, is podcast@mainecabinmasters.com. Thank you to Tony for joining us today from Maine Tourism Association. Thank you to our sponsors, Hammond Lumber Company, Nelma, Hero Media Network, and from the Woodshed, we'll be talking to you.
From the Woodshed has been brought to you by Nelma. See the stamp, trust the quality. Hammond Lumber, your building project partner. Kennebec Savings Bank, helping our local community save, thrive, and grow for over 150 years. And Hero Media Network, connecting small business with new customers. From the Woodshed is a production of Kennebec Cabin Company. See you next time.